Have you ever been told to do or believe in something that you felt wasn't right? Leading up to the Civil War, Americans differed strongly in their views on immigration, slavery, and many other issues. America was a divided nation, and it was difficult to find consensus. During this period, a writer emerged who would transform American literature. Walt Whitman, a journalist turned poet, would give voice to a changing America. As a young writer from New York, Whitman traveled to the American South, where he encountered the horrors of slavery for the first time and quickly came to question how well his country was serving its people. Realizing his platform as a journalist and editor could lend a voice to this issue, he began to express his concern that the slaves, women, and immigrants of his country were not enjoying the freedoms promised by the Constitution. Despite constant backlash from his contemporaries, he never quieted his voice on these issues. In time, Whitman turned from journalism to poetry, finally finding his voice and a larger audience with a new style. It was neither prose nor metered rhyme, but a fresh and intimate form. His first collection of poems, Leaves of Grass, received little attention at first, but over time he added new poems and continued to rework the old ones, and today the collection is seen as a seminal work of American literature. In its preface, he describes himself as no stander above men or women or apart from them, no more modest than immodest. In addition to his writing, Whitman spent a significant amount of time with soldiers wounded during the Civil War, visiting nearly 100,000 of them by his own account. His time with these soldiers inspired him to write 2 collections of poems about the Civil War. Over time, Whitman's poetry garnered attention from eminent American authors, including Ralph Waldo Emerson, who called Leaves of Grass the most extraordinary piece of wit and wisdom to be written by an American. He became famous overseas as well, where Leaves of Grass was well received and praised by other poets. The style and ideas of this groundbreaking poet continue to inspire other artists. Whitman stands in American memory a model citizen who valued innovation and forward thinking over the path of least resistance. "Re-examine all that you have been told," he once wrote. "Dismiss that which insults your soul.